So originally I was going to make a video reviewing Kimi K3, just K3, one model, nice and simple. Then Alibaba dropped a competing model 3 days later, and then Axios reported the White House is quietly trying to figure out how to ban the whole category. So instead of a review, you're getting a whole geopolitical soap opera. You're welcome. Quick roadmap so this doesn't feel random. Moonshot ships Kimi K3, the biggest open-weight model anyone's seen. Days later, Alibaba answers with Qwen 3.8 Max. And within 24 hours of that, Washington starts dusting off plans to restrict Chinese open models entirely. 3 headlines, 1 plot. China is winning the open source race, and the US doesn't have a great answer beyond what if we just didn't let people download it. Moonshot AI launched Kimi K3 on July 16th. 2.8 trillion parameters, which they're calling the largest open-weight model to ever exist. New architecture tricks. Kimi Delta Attention residuals. Basically plumbing upgrades that make it faster and cheaper to train. On paper, it's landing second place behind Fable 5 on a pile of benchmarks, beating GPT 5.6 Sol on some agentic tasks. Pricing is not the usual, we're cheap because we're Chinese move either. $3 in, 15 out, matched right up against Western pricing. That's a confidence flex, not a discount bin. Now, second place is Moonshot's own benchmark table. Nobody outside the company has independently verified any of this yet. File it under promising, not proven. Here's the part every headline skipped. K3 launched hosted only. The actual downloadable weights, the thing that makes it open, aren't out yet. Moonshot promised them by July 27th. So as of right now, you can't self-host this on your gaming rig, or honestly on anything short of a small data center. Moonshot's own recommendation is 64 plus accelerators. That's not a weekend project, that's a mortgage. Alibaba unveiled Qwen 3.8 Max preview at the World AI Conference in Shanghai, 3 days after K3, with a 2.4 trillion parameter claim and, I love this line, a description of the model as continuously evolving, with no model card, no benchmark scores, and no technical documentation beyond the parameter count. So basically, trust us. Step back and the bigger pattern is obvious. The Western frontier labs are increasingly locking their best models behind APIs, while Chinese labs are racing to open-weight their biggest models as fast as they can build them. That's not charity. Open weights are how you become the default infrastructure for agent platforms, fine-tuning shops, and every indie developer who can't afford API pricing. Give away the engine, own the ecosystem. It's a strategy, and right now it's working embarrassingly well. And this is where it stops being a tech story. Axios reported that the Commerce Department last year considered adding multiple Chinese AI labs to its entity list, which would effectively cut off US access without a license. That plan apparently got shelved, and Kimi K3 just unshelved it. Officials are reportedly weighing entity list designations, procurement restrictions, security advisories, and liability rules aimed at US companies still using these models, rather than one clean, sweeping ban. Translation? No dramatic Chinese AI is a legal press conference. Just enough friction to make American companies quietly walk away. Here's the part that makes the whole plan a bit theater of the absurd. These are open-weight models. Once they're downloaded, there is no kill switch. You can restrict a GPU shipment. You cannot undownload a file that's already sitting on 10 million hard drives. Even the administration's own AI advisor, David Sachs, has reportedly pushed back internally, warning this kind of move could make American AI less competitive rather than more. So you've got national security hawks on one side, and don't shoot our own open source ecosystem in the foot voices on the other. And nobody's won that argument yet.
Stop the presses! Sensational new development! Read all about it!
Stop the presses! Literally, while we were making this video, 2 more headlines dropped. US-China AI talks. Reuters is reporting. The US and China are actually going to sit down and talk about this. First official AI talks under Trump, expected sometime in September. Led on the US side by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, timed right before Xi's own visit to Washington. What's on the table? Agenda: frontier models, AI safety, and, very likely, some version of, can we please stop giving each other's models away? Nothing's finalized, nobody's promising a breakthrough, but it's the first time both sides are showing up to the same table. The twist: China's own export controls. And here's the plot twist that undercuts this entire video. The Financial Times says China is now considering export controls of its own, on model weights, training data, even chip designs. The exact give away the engine, own the ecosystem strategy we just spent 10 minutes admiring, China itself might be walking it back. Conclusion. So here's where we actually land. The West is talking about locking down access to models it didn't even build, and China's talking about locking down the export of the models it did build. Weeks ago, the story was, China gives it away, America panics. Today it's, maybe nobody wants to give anything away anymore. Nobody's won this argument. And if the last 3 weeks are any indication, by the time you're watching this, it's already changed again.